as well. A kid who definitely could, down the road, become a national contender. Beautiful jab, beautiful footwork, vicious right hand, and it was his first bout.
So your work in
gangs, off drugs, and in school, and yes, absolutely moving into some form of higher education. And yes, we would love to have some of our kids go into the collegiate ranks. Some of our kids, quite honestly, at least our competitive amateurs, by the time they get to college, actually have superseded the skill level.
what happens to them?
They will continue on and fight in the USA boxing ranks, Golden Gloves, and vie for, national team status and those sort of things. But those kids, we also, we want to, again, our whole goal is to keep kids moving progressively into college and to get their college degrees. Because, listen, books before boxing, that's where they're going to make their livelihood and blossom as full adults.
And what's going to happen here? Do we have any idea?
Have no idea. No idea. But
they don't bet you. There's no betting in the action.
Yeah. We got two little guys. I like that.
Is that the smallest weight? I take it.
119 pounds. No, actually, I believe in the NCBA we go down to 112 pounds.
Really?
Which would be flyweight, and we are looking at two bantamweights. And I love the bantamweights, both professionally and in the amateurs. Got lots of punching, lots of skills, and fast rhythms, and that's exactly what we're seeing here, right?
Yep.
Look at that. Beautiful skills. So, again, we've got Army, Mr. Renier there is a lefty. We got another southpaw from U.S. Military Academy, and Lee Ho from North Carolina is a righty. And two good-looking boxers, boy.
So, do you ever have any boxers that can go lead with either foot, either arm? I mean, is ambidextrous boxers? Is that ever done? Heard of?
Switch boxers like the great Marvin Hagler. Sure, there are.
Okay.
I have to say though, I'm not a huge fan of that. I like to see, especially our kids who are just learning, kind of stick to one and master one side or the other. And I usually think if they're well schooled in either fundamentals, that they could probably succeed best in their given southpaw or orthodox stance. But never say never.
Yeah, that's interesting. Has the sport always been that way? That whatever you are, you stay. In basketball, if you're right-handed, they teach you to go to your left. I mean, that kind of thing. But you don't do that in boxing. You stay with what brung you.
Typically, you will see occasionally, though, that some, especially in the old days, some coaches would take their southpaws and turn them righty, and then they'd have an incredible right hook, lead right hook. A kid from Hartford, Mike Oliver, who is a perennial national amateur and a later professional NABF fighter, was brought up that way since the age of 5, and he had a phenomenal right hook, but done less frequently now. This is a beautiful bout, I got to tell you.
Yeah, these guys, and they're light on their feet.
Boy, oh boy. These are definitely not novices here.
Okay.
You're looking at two very well-skilled boxers, in-shape boxers. This is, as far as I'm concerned, elite amateur boxing happening here that would do well, be it collegiate Golden Gloves or on the USA Boxing National Circuit.
So can you score at 10-10, or does it have to be minimum of 10-9?
10-9. No even rounds. No even rounds.
So what happens if they add them up and the numbers are even?
Is that possible? I'm a social worker, not a mathematician.
No, wait. Okay, if this round goes 10, well, it could end up. It could end up.
Well, I've got the answer.
No, it couldn't.
No, you're right. It could, and I've got the answer for you.
Go ahead.
What happens basically is then each judge is notified that we have an even score, and each judge then has to just pick subjectively who they felt won the fight.
All right.
Circle the winner and hand the cards back in, and that's how the winner will be
well,
determined.
that makes sense, as opposed to going to overtime.
Yeah.
Or a draw.
Yep, that is how it is done.
Okay. Does that happen very often?
I would not that often. Not that often. actually Joe Orozco, who you'll see in the main event tonight, actually had his first bout at the Willie Pep Invitational in Connecticut back in September, and he actually had a very tough bout against a young amateur, and they went at it, and it was actually an even bout, and the judges had to score, and fortunately they chose him as the victor.
So when you talk about this Willie Pep event, there are other opportunities for collegiate boxers into regular other amateur boxing beyond just collegiate affiliated events?
That is correct. You know, it's a beautiful thing now. Back in the old days when we were boxing, if Kenny Cooper, myself, Timmy Freimeyer, Davey Washington stepped out of the collegiate ranks to have one bout, we'd be ruled ineligible and we could never box again in the NCBA. Now it's much different where, yes, once you're registered as an NCBA fighter, you can box against other amateurs, which I think is great for the sport and great for the boxers, because obviously you can get a lot more experience, and the skill level and the standard of boxing increases. So I think that's a good thing. I think that's a real good thing.
So how good is this? Ken Cooper mentioned your Joe Orozco. He's a blue chipper, I take it?
Joe's a blue chipper. Last year he took a year off because he was studying abroad, but the previous year he actually had a great ECBA tournament. He fought 3 bouts against incredibly difficult opponents, was victorious, beat a young man from West Point, also won the Outstanding Boxer, and then went to Nationals and lost to the reigning champion, who then went on to win it. So yeah, Joe took a year off, and I think people might have been happy about that. But he's back, and he's got his hands full tonight. We're boxing John Kaufman, and it'll be a good bout. Whenever Joe gets in there, you can expect 110%, a lot of punches, and a lot of determination. So.
Do any of these kids get scholarship aid? Does your national organization have provision for that?
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. There's no scholarships in the National Collegiate Boxing Association. Of course, we're not a Division I, II, or III sport. The National Collegiate Boxing Association is recognized by the NCAA as the governing body. They recognize the NCBA as the governing body for USA Boxing. For the NCAA. And as such, they recognize the NCBA, but there's no scholarships whatsoever.
So there's no secret endowers or anything?
Nope, absolutely not. Absolutely not. These young men and women are here, specifically out of their heart and soul, and which is a beautiful thing about college boxing too. I just think the beautiful thing about college boxing is you've got these young men and women who are student athletes and are here for the love of the game and learning and improving themselves, and it brings back a certain standard of boxing, and I think you always are entertained, even if let's say the skill level may be a slight cut underneath Golden Glove Nationals or USA Boxing Nationals, you're always going to have great bouts here in the NCBA. But I'll tell you, these 2 young men right here are as good as they can be. Beautiful boxers.
Oh, they look like they're in great shape, too.
Aren't they in wonderful shape? Up on their toes, constant head movement, constant rhythm. Boy, this is a really close bout. Yeah, right now, the University of North Carolina is definitely being the effective aggressor and controlling the action. The orthodox fighter there is definitely winning this round. Looks like he's definitely has a little more gas in the tank than the West Point opponent. Boy, that's unusual, huh? That's unusual.
Yeah.
West Point is always known for their endurance and conditioning. Yeah, boy. Real nice. Quite honestly, if I was UNC right here back in the old days, I'd be picking it up here. I'd be looking to inflict some, let's just say, some serious point damage here, because the West Point boy is convincingly tired and compromised. And I don't think he's got a big punch left. Nice bout.
Very competitive.
Beautiful.
Very competitive.
And I was yapping so much,
gonna-
I'm not so sure. I wasn't. I don't think I was watching as closely as I should have been.
Again, folks, Jesse Hance from Lockhaven University. He'll be coming up next. Jesse Hance is from Allentown, a health science major at 132 pounds. Avery Drake and Kalen McWhinney and Anthony Proctor, part of Ken Cooper's stable. They'll be boxing a little bit later on here, as again we stream on the record online from the old West Main Street Gymnasium, now part of the Lockhaven University East Campus. And we'll soon find out who got the win. Again, pretty evenly matched at 119 pounds.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're maybe looking at Lee Ho here. Lee Ho from University of North Carolina, blue corner, and there it is. Nice bout, though.
Yep.
Nice bout.
Yep.
Nice bout. Everybody should walk out of that with their chin held up real high. I'm looking forward to see what Coop's put together here as a new foundation for Lockhaven. I'm looking forward to seeing his kids box. I think a lot of the teams in the Northeast are into the rebuilding stage or the Genesis stage with a lot of talent. I know at Trinity we've got a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, which I'm excited in cultivating. I know it's the same thing for UMass. UMass today had a few boxers. Boy, you know, there's a will, there's a way. Great condition, real heart and soul type fighters. Didn't come away with a lot of victories, but